Good afternoon, Mastermind Publishing Group. Hello, hello. Welcome to our first official meeting. Going to give you guys a little bit of time to catch up and sign on. Hopefully you guys are planning on being with us. Let's see if I can send out some invites, let y'all know that I'm here. So glad to be with you on this Sunday. So let me send out some invites for you to watch. All right. Come on in, get settled. Hope you got your thinking caps and your notepads and all that ready to go. Want Doc Sarad to be in the building, Kathleen Sharp to be in the building. Let's see. Oh, hold on one second. Somehow the TV in the theater came on. Hold, please. I'm back. All right, let's see who's signing in. Hello to everyone that's coming in. Slowly but surely, hello. All right, I'm gonna get started. It is Dr. Nicole Swiner, and you are live with the Swiner Publishing Company Mastermind 10-month publishing group, where I'm gonna share all the secrets. And if you follow these rules, tips, pieces of advice over the next over the next 10 months or less, you should have your best-selling book ready to publish. So I am going to give you all the tips that I can think of. Just looking to make sure I don't miss anybody sending out comments or questions like, how do I get on? But I'm here. I'm here for you. Thank you so much for joining. This is the first that we're doing this kind of a situation. You know, I have been a publisher and owner of Swiner Publishing Company now for the past 7-ish years. And I have loved this ministry, this mission, this goal, and aspiration of making as many people independent entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and best-selling authors as possible, making as many people's dreams of getting their stories out to the world come true as possible by showing you how to do it. You know, I published my first 2 books about the Superwoman complex. The first was called How to Avoid the Superwoman Complex. The second was called A Superwoman Complex, The Follow-Up Visit. And I published these on my own, mostly using CreateSpace through Amazon, which is now kind of phasing itself out. But I also, by the second book, which we did kind of more independently with use of my husband, who also works with our company for graphic design, book cover design, marketing, etc., editors that I know of that do this professionally, other social media experts and graphic designers, etc. After doing my second book, I said, you know what? I can teach people how to do this. I can show people how to do it. I can be their accountability partner. I can show them the ropes and really get this stuff done. And it's not as expensive as you would think it needs to be. It's not as difficult as you would think it needs to be. And it can really change the trajectory of your business, of your ideas, of your brand, and really make things take off. So I'm here to share this with you. Thanks for you guys. We have about 10 of you guys that are either active authors of mine already, so you're working on your own projects, or those that want to become authors soon and you're working on your book. And I think that this will be a wealth of knowledge for you, so get ready. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the end of this year and what's to come with the launch of your new book or books, okay? All right, let me see. I'm going to check and make sure we have everything that we need and folks are coming in, or you're able to check out this on the recording. And I'm going to jump right to it. I got some details to talk about. Just want to make sure all electronics are working the way that we're supposed to. Let's see. Swiner Publishing. I think we're ready to go. Yep, I see some comments here on my phone. Donna says I'm here. Let's see, can y'all hear me now? I'm looking at my phone for comments. I was hoping that my comments were going to pop up here. Let me see if I can have it pop up here on my screen. I can't. I'll keep looking at my phone. All right, Pam is here. Donna's in the building. Elizabeth's in the building. Donna says she can hear. Hey! All right, so I'll keep looking back and forth on my phone. For some reason, my comments aren't popping up on the screen. All right, welcome. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So every other week, we're going to come back to this page. We're going to meet up. We're going to talk about a topic, that I think is important to getting your book done. And we may even alternate with being able to give you some quiet writing time and writing space. I'd done this before with kind of a less structured program. I'd done this before last year, and I would schedule what I called quiet writing group or quiet writing time, where we would do what's called the Pomodoro method, where I would set a timer. I would bring my own work, working on books or working on events or doing something that I need to sit down and have someone with me in a working session kind of help, keep me accountable with. And every 15 or so minutes, so we would stop the timer, come back together and say, all right, how's your progress? How are you doing? Do you want to share with the group? Share your work. So is there a question that you have? So we want to do that because as you all know, as I know, most of us very busy working individuals. You probably have spouses and partners and children and other businesses that you are also working on and working for and working with, and finding free time is very difficult. So what I want to do is I want to help kind of be your partner in the library. You remember when we were back in school and studying together in the library and staying up late and all that? But I want to be your partner in the library, across the table from you, sitting down, being quiet, and keeping each other accountable. So every other week, we're going to kind of alternate and do those types of things. I also want this group to be a family. I mean, as corny as that sounds, networking, connecting, all of that, forming these relationships both within and outside of work has been tremendous for me and what I've done and what I've been accomplishing. And so I want this to be a support group. So come in, even if we're not meeting and doing our live group meetings, I want you to come in. I want you to post an idea. I want you to post a chapter. I want you to ask a question and get to know the folks that are also in the group, so that once our books come out, our events come through, etc., we can help support each other and push each other up on the bestsellers list and sell tickets and sell books and all these things. And so I want you all to get to know each other. I want you to feel comfortable. This is a safe space. This is a private group, so that all ideas and things that are shared here are confidential. So by joining the group, you have also agreed that you will not share other people's topics. You will not share other people's book ideas. You will not steal anyone's book ideas, okay? And I'm going to be on top of that to make sure that the rules are being followed, okay? Sorry, I keep hearing my own voice here. I want to make sure I got the comments going. Stop talking, Dr. Swiner. I hear myself talking. Okay, all right, here we go. Ready? Let's go. So I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's see. I want this to be interactive. Here's my post settings. Let's see if I can do this here. Because I have a slide. I have a PowerPoint that I usually share when I do my live writing events. And if I can't do it here, we're going to figure out how to do it. Let's see. What happens if I do event log? I'm going to share a slide. I have a slide that kind of outlines how to publish in 6 months or less, and kind of runs down the list for you. Hold on one second. Let's see. I'll reload this page. I want to share. All right. I'm going to save this screen. If for some reason it kicks me off, I'm going to come right back on, okay? So I'm going to save this. Good. It didn't kick me off. I want to share my screen. Okay. Guess what? I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to email this to myself, and I'm going to show you on my phone. All right. I hope that you all can see each other's comments, and go ahead and introduce yourself. Say where you're located, you know, what you do for your main gig. If you've published before, I want you guys to share with one another. And I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint because I want to email it to myself real quick. I know we have different writers and different phases of writing at this point. Some of you all already have your first, second, third book out. Others are working on your very first book. So there's a wealth of knowledge in this group to be shared as well. Come on, let's go. Self-publishing. For those who have come to my 2 or 3 writing events, some of this may sound familiar, but we're going to walk through it, and we're going to take piece by piece and dedicate each meeting to a particular piece of it. Today, I might get a little bit into social media, but you know, I don't want to overwhelm, so we'll take it easy. All right, pulling up the PowerPoint on my phone so I can show you guys what I want to talk about, which is really just running through what it is to publish in 6 months or less. All right. Downloading. The first piece, by the way, has to do a lot with marketing yourself on social media. No matter how cumbersome or vulnerable it may feel to put yourself out there, you got to do it. Just think you're putting your life's work on paper out to the world, and those people want to see you. You know, people purchase and buy books and read books because of you, because they like you. So I want to help you feel more comfortable promoting yourself. I have a lot of doctors in my group, a lot of doctors that I've helped to publish, and you know, we're not taught in medical school how to be an entrepreneur. You know, unless you take a business class, you're really not taught how to be a business person and put yourself out in front so that people know you for you, really. I mean, really, it's more about your craft and how well you treat patients and how skilled you are in what you're doing, or the hospital that you're representing. It has very little to do with you as a person and marketing yourself. But when you're an author, it's much different. You have to be comfortable telling people who you are, getting in front of the camera, setting up these lights. You know, so I have a ring light here where, you know, it helps me to look a certain way on camera, talking to people that I can't see. But it has been very, very helpful when it comes to selling my merchandise and also with becoming a paid speaker. You know, this makes me feel more comfortable now in front of people because I can speak, I can pretend, I can practice on camera even without looking at people look back at me. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to bring up the slide here. And what I'll do is I'll share this slide on online on the website too, the private site too, so you can have it as well. But 6-month timeline. Okay. Again, if you've come to my public events for writing, you have seen some of this before. Month 1, while writing, promote on social media and blog that your book is coming soon. Okay. So even way before your book has come out, you are telling people, I am an author. Go ahead and say it with confidence, with reassurance. I am an author and my book is coming out. If Dr. Donovan Smalls here is one of my newest signed authors, he has done a phenomenal job with already marketing himself, doing live streaming videos and saying, hey guys, guess what? You know what I'm about. You know what my business is about. The book is coming, so stay tuned. And I think that's phenomenal. Okay, that's month 1. Month 2, or tip number 2, by the end of month 1, if you're writing formally for once a week, you should have 4 chapters done by now. So there are essentially 4 weeks average in a month, right? So if you have dedicated your Saturday mornings before the kids get up, your Sunday evening after everyone goes to bed and you're getting ready for the week, if you've dedicated your half an hour to an hour every week of sitting down, focusing on your craft, getting your book, a chapter outlined, whatever, done, in 4 weeks' time, that's a good amount of material that you've created. That's a great amount of content that you've created. So it's all about committing to yourself that you're going to sit down and be quiet on a scheduled basis so that you can get your content out. Okay, so by the end of month 1, so let's say we start today, January 26th. If by February 26th, you have weekly you've sit yourself down and you have, you've turned your phone off, you turned the TV off, you put on some nice quiet meditative like music or no music at all. No one can interrupt you and disturb you. If you've done that for 4 weeks, you have written a good portion of your book. Okay. Tip number 3. By the end of month 2, you should have an ISBN purchased. And these are some sites where you can get your ISBN. That's your barcode for your book. You can also use Bowkers. You can use CreateSpace. You can use someone like me. Because when you sign on with us, we purchase the ISBN for you, even though, again, you own your own product at the end of the day, but we can do that for you. But you go ahead and you start doing that because that's your stamp on your book, right? You can't really copyright a book, okay? You can't really copyright words. You can copyright or trademark an idea or a brand. Having your ISBN and your barcode is kind of the best way to quote, copyright your book, okay? Because your title is associated with that, your author name is associated with that. So that's the best way to market your book or to put your stamp on your book, even before your book is done, okay? Tip number 4, by end of month 3, be done with your writing. Work on your ideas for your book cover, and you can do that through things like canva.com and Adobe Photoshop if you're fancy. And your editing should be starting. Right now, by the way, I'm using Donovan a lot, for example, because we're actively working on his book right now, but editing is being done on his manuscript because he'd been done with his manuscript by the time he signed. Although you don't have to be. If you're going to work with a company like mine or do a publishing company, they can also help to get your manuscript completed and help hold your hand and help, figure out how to get it done. But once your manuscript is done and it's in editing mode and the editor is doing their proofreading and editing, you can be working on other things. So you can be doing your book cover, or your graphic designer can be working on your book cover. You can then also be working on other ideas while the editing is being done. Editing generally takes, depending on how busy your editor is, 4 to 6 weeks or so to get done. And that also depends on how many times you pass it back and forth to each other. But 4 to 6 weeks is about how long it should take an editor to do a, average size book, about 100 to 200 pages. That's time you have to be working on other things so that once your editing is complete, you can move on with the next steps and get your book published, right? All right. So that's month 3. You're almost done. By end of month 4, editing done, start promoting early sales or pre-order campaign. Plan your book launch party. Okay. End of month 4, editing done. While your editing was getting done, you were also taking your new headshots, you were doing photography, you were live streaming on social media, telling people the book is coming, we're in editing, getting all that stuff done. While that is happening, you should also be talking about getting early sales on your book. So you'll spend this money, you're spending this money on editing, you're spending this money on getting an ISBN number, spending your money on, maybe you're doing some ads on social media, and we'll talk about that too. Spending money on hair and makeup for photography. You're spending this money. Even before you have the book out to sell, you can start recouping some of those costs by doing early sales. And I'll show you how to do that and show you how to do some pre-ordering or a campaign even before your book is out. So you can start making some money even before your book is on the shelf. Okay. Lastly, so that was by the end of month 4. Excuse me. Next tip says launch. Launch with a bestsellers campaign or regular campaign. So this is month 5 or 6. Once everything is done, once you have your manuscript edited and approved, once you have your ISBN, your book cover, your book is ready to be printed, done. But even sooner, you can launch your ebook. And I'll show you how to upload your own ebook. With all the authors that sign on with us, they have the option of also creating an electronic book, an ebook on Kindle. And it's very quick because you can make things as long or as short as you want. An ebook can be five pages. You know, I've created a quick and dirty self-love language book. I just put an ebook out, I think earlier last year, just some blog entries and some social media comments and things that I made, just put it together, made a nice cover on Canva, sold it, you know, as an ebook for $1.99. You know, it's very easy to do that. It does not have to be complicated because you are self-publishing your own work. You make the rules. No one gets to tell you how long, what it's about, what kind of audience you're going for. You get to create what you want, okay? Which is the joy and the blessing of being your own self-published person, author, okay? And then you launch it, and then you're done. And then you go to print, which we do mostly through Amazon because it's easy. You know, you don't have to stockpile and ship all that stuff out by yourself. Amazon can handle it for you because you can have people order your book on Amazon. Amazon handles the shipping and distribution for you. They will, of course, take their piece, their cut of your sales, and /or you can order your own author copies wholesale from Amazon. They ship you your stock, and then you sell them out as you wish. Okay, and that's it. So that's the whole process in about 5 minutes. And over the course of the next 10 months, I'm going to walk you through each of those steps. Okay? All right, I'm going to take a moment, take a break, and look back for comments, questions, things that you guys have already posted. And excuse me, I'm suffering from a cold. Let's see, let me go back and see what you guys have been writing. Got in. Hi, Candace, I see you. Glad you're introducing you all yourself. Hi, Liz, Pam. All right, that's all right, Donna. You are an author. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, you want to talk a little bit about social media? Y'all have any questions for me before we move on? We'll talk a little bit about social media. We'll stay on social media for a while because it is, the world of social media marketing is vast. It is great. I love it. It can be overwhelming, but I'm going to try to keep it, I'm going to try to make it simple for you and not, you know, overwhelm your life. But we will spend a little bit on social media today. Checking to make sure y'all don't have any questions. Okay. Doc Angela Harris says, how many books would you suggest you can order for yourself to sell at your book launch? It depends on how many people you're planning to invite. So if you're going to invite 50 people and you're thinking they'll buy 1 or 2 copies and 100 is about a good number, I say about at least 100, because even if you don't sell them at your book launch event, you'll be able to take online or Facebook or Instagram requests for book sales too. Good question. All right. Any other questions before I move on? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about social media. And I wonder why it's not letting me share my screen. I will fix that before we get to our next meeting, is sharing my screen, because I know it's easier to see that way. So, and I don't want to play around with too much because I don't want it to kick me off live. Okay, we'll do that later. All right, social media. The 3 big ones to be involved in nowadays, particularly for purposes of selling your book and your merchandise and getting your brand out there, are LinkedIn, It's not really an order of importance or anything like that. But if we did importance, it actually would be Facebook. There are probably more than 1 billion people on Facebook every day. LinkedIn, and then Instagram. These are the big three. You have to be on social media, and you have to be on those three. I'm sorry to tell you. If I had to pick one that was most important, or it has been the most effective for me personally, is Instagram. For some reason, I love the engagement I get on Instagram. I love the sharing that's on Instagram, meaning people see my pics, see my posts, and share it to their friends. And I love Instagram's Insta Stories setup, because it's a quick and easy and fun way to share whatever's happening, your day-to-day comings and goings, your favorite pics. You're sharing other memes from other people you like. You're telling people about your event. You're telling them where to go to see your blog. I mean, I love Instagram for that purpose. So if I had to pick one and only one, it's Instagram, no matter what your age is, no matter who your audience is, especially though if your audience is in the millennial category, because that's where they are. They're also on Snapchat and on TikTok and all that. I'm not really on there a whole lot. You can definitely do some things there. But my big number one is Instagram. Then my second favorite is Facebook, because of things like this: Facebook groups, Facebook ads, live streaming, etc. Okay. But you definitely have to be on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Do you have to post every single day? No, but it's probably helpful, especially if you're a new author or have a new piece of merchandise that you're selling or a new event that you're sharing. Once a day is good. I know Donna says, oh, Instagram. Yes. Yes, you should. Because you want people to become familiar with your brand. The more they see you, the more they recognize your hashtags, the more they see your brand colors. And yes, you should establish your logo and your brand colors. The more they see that, the more they identify you as an expert and identify your topic as your own. Okay? So you have to do it. I had some questions here. Do authors typically have separate pages from the personal page? Doc Sarah, who is known as actually Dr. Angela Harris also, we've talked about this a couple of times. So it all depends on your style. So for instance, on Facebook, I have my personal page. I have a page for Doc Swiner, which is like the little bit of the writing, speaking, superwoman, survival kit personality page. And then I have Swiner Publishing, which is dedicated to just Swiner Publishing stuff and writing, etc. However, on Instagram, I decided to make it all the same in one. It used to be a Mrs. Swiner page, but then I changed it to Doc Swiner. And the reason I was comfortable with kind of meshing all the things together, like putting personal and business stuff in one, is because it kind of goes along with my brand. So my niche, my brand, my avatar, which is the person that you're trying to speak to, is usually the working professional woman dealing with all these balls in the air that she's juggling. So my audience, they respond well to me sharing things about my marriage, raising children, and what I'm doing in the business world. Okay. If that doesn't really go with your brand, then you may want to separate the two. Okay. So it all depends on what the message that you're trying to get across and the brand that you have and the audience you're trying to reach. Because I talk to a lot of working professional moms, women, etc., docs, then my Instagram page all in one seems to work well. Okay. One other question. Let's see. Pam, yes, several books she's working on. Do you have an illustrator? Yes. We do have relationships with a couple of different illustrators that have done some children's books for our authors. So yes, I can hook you up with an illustrator, Pam, if you need one. Okay. Very good. Excuse me. So what else can we kind of do real quick? If you're going to be on social media, once you've decided to create your pages, and you should, by the way, let me be clear. you should have a business page dedicated to what either dedicated to your book or dedicated to what you're doing with your book. Okay. So for instance, I'm going to use Dr. Angela Harris, who's here on here now, who's one of our working authors. She has done an incredible job of kind of transitioning her pages from her personal page now to focusing on things that she's writing about with the book, with bibs, burps, and bottles. Did I get that right? I always try to interchange the words, bibs, burps, and bottles. But she has also created a private group for that audience so that they can share things around the topics of the book, right? So you want to do that to establish your brand. Whether or not you create a private group, is up to you, but you definitely have to create a page that's kind of more dedicated to your business, the business side of you. And you want to do really well with looking up your hashtags and using your hashtags consistently. Okay, so for instance, when I post things on my Doc Swiner page about speaking events or self-care or mental health, I tend to use the same hashtags all the time for two reasons. One is so that people can start recognizing that those are my things, right? So hashtag Doc Swiner, hashtag no superwoman, hashtag superwoman, hashtag self-care, hashtag work-life balance. When people see those hashtags, you're like, that's her thing. I know she's written books about Superwoman Complex. That's what she talks about. If I'm having an event, speaking as the other person, if I'm having a speaking event, I know what she's going to talk about because that's her those are her topics of interest. First thing. Second thing it's important for is people can actually look up hashtags on Google. They can Google hashtag Doc Swiner and my stuff will come up. Or if they're having an event or they're looking for a certain thing, they want to look up hashtag self-care, and hopefully if you've used that hashtag enough, you will pop up under that and they will be able to see that you use that and you talk about that a lot. Okay. So get in the habit of using and reusing the same hashtags over and over again. Go to my Doc Swiner page and kind of look through my posts, go to my Instagram, Doc Swiner, look through my posts. I tend to use the same types of hashtags over and over again. Okay. The big thing I love on Instagram about hashtags is as you're posting your hashtag, so if you put in your hashtag self-care, it will tell you a number. It will give you how frequently that number or that hashtag has been used or how popular it is. So that self-care versus self-care awareness, if one has a bigger number than the other, which Instagram will show you as you're typing it in, you want to pick the one that's been more popular because then more people will see your post. Does that make sense? So you want to get into the habit of doing those things. I'm looking back to see if you guys have any questions or comments about that. Bless you. Oh, thank you for the sneeze. Thank you. Pat says, hey, Pat, that's my problem. I created a business page under my maiden name. Not sure how to combine them with name I used to for the book. Pat, I would keep the same page that you've already created for your business, but just change the name of the page. Can you not do that? You mean on Facebook? I know on Instagram you can change your name pretty easily, but you don't necessarily have to start over. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you already have an established business page, you have followers, they've been following what you've been doing, then just change the name. So as of right now, I'm looking at your Facebook page, you're Pat Snow, but I also know you as Pat Portia. So I think you can go in and edit and change your name on this page, if I'm not mistaken. I know you can do it on Instagram. Okay. All right, guys, that was our first 30 minutes or so. I don't want to overwhelm you today. I just want to introduce what kind of things we're going to be talking about. I would encourage you to spend the next 15 minutes sitting quietly and typing out some ideas, whether it's your chapter outline, it's just kind of a thought, a mind word map of the things that you want to cover in your book. If it's your first chapter, I want you to sit quietly for 15 minutes and do that. Get some work done today, okay? Communicate, throw out questions and comments on this page. This group is for you all to get connected, to ask me questions, to get some things done. I'm going to share the slides that I went over on this page so you can have them for your reference. And then I'll also let you know in the next week when we're going to sit and meet again and keep working, okay? I'm here for you guys. This group is here for you. So I'm very excited about what we're going to get done and get accomplished in this year. You ready? So am I. All right, y'all. Have a good week. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.